Oh my God. I don't even know how to. I mean, that's a great question, and it's
반갑습니다. 이승국입니다. 샹치와 텐 링즈의 전설 개봉을 맞이하여 감사한 기회를 얻어 이 영화에 출연한 주연 배우분들을 비대면으로 만날 수 있었습니다. 이 영상은 그중 주인공 샹치 역할을 맡은 시무 리우와의 만남을 담고 있습니다. 영화의 또 다른 주역 아콰피나와의 만남은 이 영상 업로드 직후, 샹치의 상대 역을 맡은 양조위님과의 인터뷰는 내일 오전에 업로드될 것을 미리 알려드리며 시무 리우와의 만남 바로 시작합니다.
Okay, my name is Seunguk Lee from South Korea. And before we start the clock, can I just a little hi to Simu? Is it allowed?
yeah, of course, man.
Okay. Hi Simu. Again, my name is Seunguk from Korea. I have to be honest with you. This is the unique moment for me because this time they let me have a longer time. So inside my head, I'm both thankful for them, and I'm thinking if I mess this up, they'll never call me again. So I'll try my best, but please help me.
You're gonna do great, man. Don't worry. We're gonna make sure this is the best. This is the best interview ever.
Thank you very much for that. I'm counting on you. Okay,
Alrighty.
then let's start the clock. Let's start the interview. Actually, we are almost at the same age, meaning that we grew up watching the same Asian action heroes of our time that shined across the globe. With those people in mind, 2 years ago, Kevin Feige called you, telling you that your life is going to change because you have become Shang-Chi for Shang-Chi and the Legend of Ten Rings. Now that the movie is ready to meet the global audience, and now that you have watched the movie, do you actually feel that you are stepping towards becoming one of those people?
Oh my God. I don't even know how to. I mean, that's a great question, and it's very flattering that you put me, in the same category. So let me just say that. Thank you very much. I grew up watching Jackie Chan, Jet Li, Bruce Lee, Donnie Yen. I mean, just amazing martial artists. And I can say for sure when I got the role, I was not an amazing martial artist. I had done some martial arts and I did some stunts. I was what you call a backup stuntman. I'm the stuntman that you call when all of the regular stuntmen are sick or injured or they don't want to go to work. So I show up and then I do my thing. But I knew that there was a lot of work to be done in terms of the physical preparation. So I kind of threw myself into the process and I worked hours and hours every single day to make sure that my body could perform in the moves and the physicality that the character required. So I'm very, very proud of the progress. And I think I love the action genre and I want to keep going. But that's part of the journey of an actor, is to be free, is to be an artist. And that means sometimes doing action and sometimes doing other types of movies. And I think that's the career that I'm interested in having, is to explore all these different genres and all these different types of movies, work with different filmmakers, and just become a free and expressive artist that doesn't necessarily only do action.
Oh, that's true. Oh, I'm sorry if I just kept you in that little action frame.
No, not at all. It's very flattering. I mean it. I take it as a compliment. Absolutely.
Okay. First time in the 2.5 years since Captain Marvel, MCU have came up with an origin story for Shang-Chi, introducing new characters, new concepts. But at the same time, it also brings back Ben Kingsley, who was the fake Mandarin in Iron Man 3. And it also deals with the concept of 10 rings, which have been in the MCU since the first Iron Man movie. So for those people who haven't watched the movie, can you tell us how does this movie fit into the MCU, and what's the role of this movie in the whole universe?
Of course. Well, I mean, as you know, we have a man, Kevin Feige, who kind of keeps track of all of the things going on in the MCU. And you're absolutely right. Even though Shang-Chi is an original hero in the MCU, he does have a backstory that also is connected to the other parts of some of the other movies. So the biggest example of that is the 10 Rings, which we saw, of course, originally in the Iron Man movie. And we didn't quite know what this 10 Rings organization was about, what they did. And, this movie hopes to answer that question and to fill in that blank. And, as we moved into Iron Man 3, the character of Trevor Slattery, played by Sir Ben Kingsley, is kind of built up to be this leader of the 10 rings, but then once, we actually find him and we confront him, it's revealed that he's just an actor performing the whole time. And so that begs the question, of course, well then who is the real leader of the 10 rings? And of course, in our movie, it's revealed that the real leader of the 10 rings is a man named Wenwu. So Wenwu, using the real 10 rings, the artifacts that grant him, amazing powers, has, used it to build this criminal organization and to conduct all sorts of operations all over the world internationally. And, Wenwu has a son named Shang-Chi, who, has spent a lot of time away from home and doesn't want anything to do with his father's legacy or his father's business or the 10 rings, anything like that. But, that's where our story begins. That's the connection to the MCU. And then from there, we get to watch the birth and the rise of an all-new hero.
Wow, that is neat description of the movie. That was a great answer.
Thank you.
In this movie, we have great action sequences, great CGI, and some familiar faces with other MCU movies. But the element that really captured me was the family and coming of age theme from that movie. Like the depth it goes and the efficient way of presenting it in a superhero movie, in a kung fu genre. As an audience, it was really inspiring. But as an actor who had to do that efficiency in a movie, there must have been quite challenging moments. So have you got anything to say about those challenging moments?
Well, it definitely was a challenge because some days we would, some weeks we would do all fighting. We would do fighting because there's so much action and stunts in our movie that they take up just a lot of time to shoot, because every time you see an action sequence, you typically see rehearsals, you have to do camera angles, you have to do wires and stunt tests and everything, right? So they tend to take up a lot more time than just the dramatic scenes where you just set up your lights and then you have your actors and they talk and then that's it. So we would go, sometimes weeks at a time without doing a single dramatic scene, and then all of a sudden, it would be a day of drama. And we would look at the call sheet every day and say, oh my God, I don't even know what to do with myself. It's like, we're doing drama today. And then we would go back and do 2 more weeks of fighting. And then all of a sudden we do a day of comedy. And so it just felt like constantly like we were changing gears and changing gears and changing gears. And I will say, even though it was difficult, it was very exciting because it meant that every day there was new and different challenges to take on. And that's part of what makes the job so interesting too, is that we get to constantly shape shift and change, and it's all under the leadership of Destin, who is our amazing director. And all we had to do was really just follow his direction and his guidance. And he was very good about letting us play. And so, we took the time that we needed to sink into things, especially for the comedic scenes. He let us just improvise and see what would happen if we just kind of went off the rails and threw the script away. And those are actually some of my favorite days on set. So there's a lot of different places that we go to in the movie, but I think it all pays off because it all wraps up so beautifully, and it contributes to a 3-dimensional story, that isn't just action or isn't just drama, but it's, it's like all of these things. It's a plethora.
Wow, that was well put. And honestly, they're telling me to wrap things up. I just wanted to say that when you had that little conversation with Wenwu on the movie, the conversation that was really well delivered. So I just wanted to say I was just captured by that moment. Thank you for that moment.
Oh, thank you very much. I will say I had a very, very incredible scene partner in Mr. Tony Leung, who is an absolute legend. So he acting with him just made me so much better. He is an incredible talent.
Okay, thank you. I just talking to you, I just realized you have so much more in you. So I hope you do great in the future, and I hope this movie does great in the global market. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. It's wonderful to meet you.
네, 그렇게 시무 리우와의 만남이 마무리되었습니다. 샹치와 10 링즈의 전설은 지금 극장에서 바로 만나보실 수 있으니까 참고하시고요. 다른 배우들과의 만남도 궁금하신 분들은 이 영상 업로드 직후 업로드될 아콰피나와의 만남, 또 내일 오전 중 업로드될 양조희님과의 만남도 기대해주세요. 그럼 저는 이만 나머지 영상들 편집하러 가도록 하겠습니다. 지금까지 전 천재이승국의 이승국이었습니다. 감사합니다. 바이바이.